Here we are again on the twitch.tv/Xisuma streaming from the Hermitcraft. You know how we do, you know the intro. You know how it goes. We've got Bananas in chat from Spooky Dokie, Lucaro and Coles of Doom, letting me know that we are indeed live, and we're digging a tunnel today on Snapshot Day. Streaming nice and early because I'm hoping we'll get a snapshot later on. So we're on here doing some relaxing grinding, and we're going to build a shop as well. That's basically my plan. To build nether tunnels and to build shops. Plural, just a shop, just a shop, just a single shop. This one, by the way, goes to the mesa. And the other one we're going to build is a very short one that goes to the witch hut. So considering we've got this instant mine, it should be swift and speedy business today. We've already got our design in place because it's just going to be the same as this one right here. We're going to have to move these signs to the mining desert. Let's go ahead and change that right now, actually. Apparently I already had a sign on me. Mining desert. With sprinkles on top because of dessert, right? Mining mesa. Beautiful, right. Makes it nice and clear what they are. And then the shape of the tunnel. So we are digging out kind of one behind that, I guess. So if we pop over here, let's grab some of this stuff. Like we're not digging that out, so this can all get sort of filled in, I think. Quartz! Why don't I take it? I don't know. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's sort of going to be the shape. And then we can just follow on for that with everything else. MS2008 says, hi, how are you? I'm doing alright, thanks for asking. Doing okay. And everyone else in chat is just saying hello and welcome and all that cool stuff. Awesome, awesome. This is misleading. Why is there more of those blocks there? I will never know, will I? Aha, that's the shape, that's the shape. I don't need to fill this in, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. Otherwise I confuse myself. What's planned today, says Sky Miriam? Building tunnels. And building a shop. That is the plan. Also, today is Snapshot Day, possibly. I'm hoping we'll get our hands on a new snapshot for 1.20. I'm hoping we'll see the sniffer. But, given Mojang's recent track record, I wouldn't be surprised if that's far from ready. Yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think it'll be the sniffer today? You see, I time my ski holiday so that while I'm away, there definitely won't be a snapshot. This year, though, what I didn't realise is while I was away, the timing was slightly different. You see, depending on where Christmas lands, you either get like a week off before and after, or sometimes 2 weeks off before. And the way it lined up this time, actually, I think I'm butchering this explanation, but basically it meant more time off before Christmas, less time off after. And because of that, the first work week back was actually when I was away. And I was on holiday, I'm trying to take a break from being a creator and all this kind of stuff, and I was just like, if it happens, whatever, you know. Anyway, they didn't release a snapshot, so I believe this week is the one that they will. And I'm all here and prepared, and looking forward to checking it out. I've kind of been missing making videos just a little bit, but I don't want to jump back into it too quickly. I think I want to deliberately give myself more time, but today I was kind of hankering to jump on and start recording, but there's still things that I can do that don't need to be recorded, like grinding out these tunnels, so I figured I'd just live stream instead, right? It's weird, like, I feel like it's sort of like a knee-jerk reaction to just want to record stuff. I kind of want to give my brain a bit of space from doing that all the time. So I figured I won't yet. We'll give it more time. I'm so happy the sniffer won the vote, says OP Moth. I'm glad too. I think the golem one, the one that interacts with redstone, would have been the better choice. Just the way they presented it, I don't think it really sold it on what it could potentially be. So I'm not surprised that sniffer was the winner. The rascal really didn't seem like a good fit to me. It didn't feel very Minecrafty and a bit pointless. Mon, PJC, here for 35 months, saying, hi Mr. X, hope you're well, enjoyed your break, good to see you back and keeping me company while I work from home. Have a good one, and looking forward to the snapshot video. Thank you, my dude. If we get a snapshot, I'll be covering it, of course, you know that. You know me, it's what I do, it's the bread and butter around here. Let's go ahead and drink a little bit of tea. Been live for 5 minutes. There's going to be piping hot tea that I've got here. Would love it if we could ride on sniffers. Just an ancient creature as a ride sounds cool, says Banyan. I wouldn't. I think if they're going to add things like that, they need to diversify them a little bit. So, for example, the camel was added and they gave it a 2-player riding. And they gave it some interesting mechanics to mess around with. Definitely going to be making some camel-related games in the future. Darkmando20, thank you for 9 months of support, my dude. Appreciate ya. It's definitely too hot. Too hot for human consumption. It needs a few more minutes. But it's a good, tasty cup of tea, that's for sure. Made myself a really nice, creamy risotto for my morning meal. Made it with milk and hot water. And it was really gorgeous meal. So I'm well fed. After this stream I'll probably make my second meal of the day and then that'll be that. I wish they would take the 3 of the second place mobs and put them up for a top vote on the new mob vote, says the Light Blender. I wouldn't bank on something like that happening. The mob vote is more of a, in my eyes, a promotional thing. Like, it's there to give people reasons to talk about the game. Like, if you tell people like what's going to happen, they'll talk about it. If you tell people that they have a choice over what's going to happen, then the conversation goes to the next level. People start making videos and speculate and trying to convince other people, and it ends up just being a promotional tool. Because remember, you know, Minecraft has this strange kind of roots in being a kind of indie game, but really now it's run by a corporate gaming group, you know, with what are they called? Microsoft? Something like that. Yeah, these things were put 4 blocks apart. Oh yeah, let's not be rude. Hi. And, change my status as well. One, 2, 3, 4. Neatly counted, neatly counted. Right, we'll get more of those materials when we need it. For now, we keep digging. By the way, we're listening to some Lord Leviticus today. As per request from yesterday's stream, I thought, why not? Why not a little bit of the Lord? Why not, eh? Tauba says thanks. Yes, I was in the back of my mind thinking it was Tauba who asked for it, right? Badger Spanner, welcome to the stream. Dang Jag 2005, welcome. Thegley says, to be honest, I think the amount, as a mount, what would make the sniffer unique would be either being able to have more riders as a camel or as a utility mob, like maybe holding down space will make it hoe the ground and eat like the tall grasses. Yeah. I mean, giving things functionality is a cool way to make them more interesting. But I get the impression it's not going to go in that direction. Just got a hunch, you know. Badger Spanner here for 50 months! With the subscription, saying probably my last auto-renew sub for a long time. Gotta save for my big move. Awesome! You are getting saved up to move out. Oh my god! Oh my god! That is great to hear. Oof. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to moving and big life things like that, gotta save every penny, right? Gotta make them all count. Was that like one on its own? No, there's more up there. Of course there is. Let's see if we can find a bit more of it. Knock it out. The tunnel will go back this way a fair bit, won't it? So makes sense to knock quite a few of them out. How do we get in here? There it is. Ooh, maybe this one too. Moving to Nashville. Gotta cost me... Nashville's in America. Gotta cost me $1,000 just to ship my belongings, let alone the cost of the wedding. Are you getting married? Awesome. Congratulations, Spanner. That's superb. Big life stuff happening. Dang, going to the States. You know who else is from Nashville? Oh, I don't need to tell you that. Wait a minute. That does... Oh, gosh, no, we got these things. These things. They're everywhere. Actually, they're not. They're just in my tunnel. But they're going to keep spawning here while I build this thing. I guess I should throw down some torches, right? That'll help. Let's go ahead. Oh. Badger says, Xisuma, I'm getting married to Joe. Are you messing with me? Okay, Carl's is also... For real? Wow, okay, that's amazing. Congratulations again. Oh my god, that's so cool. Badger says, I knew you didn't know, he told me you totally knew. I can be pretty darn oblivious. I know Joe mentioned getting married. He didn't, like, maybe he did. I don't recall him, like, I just assumed it was someone he knew IRL when he mentioned getting married, you know. I didn't know. You know, when us hermits get together, we usually just talk about Minecraft, right? And Hermitcraft stuff. I apologize for my ignorance. But sorry, that has kind of like blown my mind a little bit. It's just... ah! In chat's defense, Joe announced it on a lot on social media. Well, you know, I'm not on social media reading all the tweets, am I? I don't know what we have to be in defense of here. I just didn't know. Yeah, that's kind of... Sorry, that's just totally, like, blown my mind a little bit there. Crazy. Sumaru's gonna catch the bouquet. Can I even say that word properly? Bouquet? Bouquet? Isn't it bouquet? Even though it's spelled bouquet. Jeez. Crappy Toast, thank you for 40 months. Hope you had a nice break from YouTube/work. Hey, I'm still on the break. I'm still taking a break right now. NXpert, thank you so much for 7 months. Appreciate it. I mean, you got to throw that bouquet a long way. Oh, goodness me, that's some good tea. Right. Right, tunnel building. Let's get a dig in. Morning from Canada X, says Tiki Toby. Good morning to you. You're the only person live out of everyone I follow, says Wolfpug Gamer. I feel like that's like you're saying, there's no one better I can watch, so I'll just watch you then. Oh, jeez. You've crushed my spirits. Wolfpug Gamer, you've crushed them. Only messing. So X, how was your day? Says MS 2008. Just, so far the day has just been the morning routine, working out, and cooking, basically. Some time on the treadmill. Yeah, even my routine feels a little bit kind of, I don't know. Like, it's easy for it to just... It's my routine, right? Like, it's tricking my brain into sort of going back into its old rhythms or whatever. Which is why I didn't want to record today until, like, Snapshot. I just felt like my brain was sort of ticking over the way it usually did. Trying to really, like, break that and figure things out. I've figured a lot out, actually. I figured quite a few things out as of late, but I still feel like just give yourself time. Talbar! What do you mean you don't have time to catch the rest? I put this music on just for you. Oh. Bailing on us already. See you later, dude. Have a great rest of your day. I've been doing yoga since the new year started, says Madster Rabbit. I do a little bit of yoga stuff, like stretches that really work for me every day anyway. But I haven't done the daily challenge this year. I usually do it every year, but I again, just trying to take a break from some habits and trying to make things feel a little different for myself. So I didn't bother. I was like, not this year. Maybe later in the year. Who said, you know, why don't I just do it later in the year? I'll be like, it's the middle of summer, no reason I can't do a half-hour session of yoga every day. Let's drink some more of that tea. Miss Button says, good morning from East Coast, US. Good morning to you. Hello, I'm new to your channel and this is my first live, says GenW28. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming by and checking it out, what we're doing over here. Currently on a bit of a hiatus from creating content over there. But I just want to relax and stream and do some of this Minecraft grindy stuff. It's always nice to do this and hang out. We should pick up on some talking topics today though. I've had quite a lot to think about. I've been listening to a new audiobook. And I watched an episode of Rick and Morty this morning that I absolutely love. Been watching some Star Trek as well. The Rick and Morty episode is the one with the battery in the car. Feel like I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's not seen it because it's so good. But I just totally forgot. Like when I saw it again, I was like, oh, this is hilarious. How is LPMT going this season? Personally haven't joined, but yeah, always curious, is Crappy Toast. I don't know too much because I haven't been playing on there, but we did do like a tour earlier in the season. There were tons of incredible builds and stuff. So there's always peeps playing on there doing cool stuff, and there's always like community events being organised. So there's much going on, but I've just sort of not had my eye on it too closely. For me, I find the meta storytelling episodes entertaining, like the ones where they deconstruct story concepts, says Fegley. I like that stuff too, a lot. I feel like when I watch the older episodes of Rick and Morty, it feels like the pace of the show just lets you understand like the meta stuff a little better. Whereas some of the latest episodes, the meta commentary was really good, but it's like really fast paced. And I kind of like it when a story lets you ruminate a little bit more on what's going on. Oh my god, so many magma cubes. Maybe we should put in the carpets, like, straight away. That sounds like a smart idea, doesn't it? Because these torches, now that I think about it, light levels in the Nether, ain't really doing anything, are they? By the way, we've got some gifted subs coming in. Lizzie Bess, Lexi Chomps, Cantuard, Dyad, Choke Kinetic, Lightning Aussie, y'all been gifted subs. Be sure to say thanks in the chat to Anonymous, who writes amazing poetry. Top-notch stuff. Totally recommend it if you haven't read any of Anonymous poetry. And thank you again. Thank you again, Anonymous, for more gifted subs. Appreciate you. Let's now grab these things. And do all of this. So, like, the story of this episode of Rick and Morty, like, it's not a terribly deep idea that they throw at you, right? It's a fun, sciencey idea. But then the way in which Rick interacts with the equivalents of himself, let's say, like, then it starts getting into some deep psychological personality stuff, and then the traumatization of... Oh, what's that? God, I know her name. Jeez, I'm just pulling a total brain fart. No, I will not look at chat. I'm going to drink some tea until it comes to me. Oh, you know when, like, you absolutely know someone's name and your brain just gives you a blank? It's the worst thing, isn't it? Summer. I looked at chat. Summer. Ah. Oh, good. Good tea. Yeah, Summer goes through this trauma that's just a great layer of jokes. So it's like back and forth between the two, and it's just a great structure for the show. Xander says, X, Tango touched on this, but do you feel a difference when you go between Hermitcraft and the Create streams? Yeah, totally. They're different creative spaces. One of the reasons I didn't stream Create yesterday is I didn't quite feel it. And normally I'm like Mr. Power Through, and I thought, let's just do something else instead. I feel like I started the Create Like, there's a lot of stuff I can look at and go, that's amazing, I wish I could do that. And I'm trying to learn that what I really need to do is just focus my energies a little more specifically and carefully. And I think I started doing that when I was in a different mindset, where it was like, I love create, and oh, let's jump on that and do that. Whereas there's actually like loads of mods, mod packs, things that I'd be interested in doing, but you gotta divvy up your time. You gotta suss out how to portion it properly. And I kind of like just jumped into that project. It was a lot of fun, and now I'm like sort of not sure where to go because I don't quite have a big picture, I guess. This idea of like expanding and creating loads of different things is good, but I didn't really flesh out that plan in my mind. So at the moment, like, I've got a few ideas. Like, I've had some ideas for like interesting puzzles and things that you could do. I just want to like build them up a little more before I jump back on there, so I can have a good stream creating something. Do you have some tattoos, says Matt Cav? I do not have tattoos. I don't like tattoos. And I'm glad I never got any, because I would have got some absolutely awful ones when I was young. But due to having a skin condition, I like didn't get them. And then I was like, well, later on I was like, thank goodness I didn't get those awful tattoos. Trust me, they would have been terrible. I thought you were taking a break, says Biff's Biz. Yeah, I am taking a break from making videos. Snapshots will resume. Where are you from? I'm from the U of the K, aka the greatest of Britons, aka England, aka England plus Wales and Scotland, and Northern Ireland. I don't know. Jokes. Terrible jokes of mine. Opinions on New Year's resolutions. Personally, I don't do them. I would rather make changes when I realise something needs to improve. Yeah, I have the exact same attitude, and I also think that one thing we all need to do is probably not wait for those changes to come to us, or the idea of them, but to perhaps seek them out as well. You know, I'm always trying to engage with some sort of learny podcast or audio book or something that might put new ideas into my head that make me reassess things. I think that's important too, you know, not to just think, you know, you're all right until you're not, which is what I've done as of late, I think. You know, whatever the thing you're doing to fight the tide is, like, the tide's always going to change and adapt. So you got to keep reassessing and figuring stuff out. This might not this might not go all the way back here as well. I just quit smoking, says Bear Deadaxe. Good for you, my dude. Good for you. I hope that works out. That's a great one to get rid of because it's terrible. You know. What I'll say is, as a former smoker, for me, the way in which I quit was by just reducing slowly over time. It's not a strategy that works for everyone. Some people can just go cold turkey and do it. What I will say though is, if you fall off the horse, get back on. It's always about restarting with these things. Like, we're fallible, we have weaknesses. You know, you're gonna fall down at some point. Obviously, hopefully not, but like, if you do, it's all about just getting back on again, right? Just finding that within yourself to start over again. Because let's face it, if you're a smoker, you're damaging your health, you're damaging your body, and we all know that quitting would be great, but if you can't do the quitting, well, smoking less is better than smoking more. So the more attempts you make to quit, that's a success too, you know. Some people say, oh, I've tried so many times. It's like, it's great that you've tried. Keep trying, you know? So for me, it was like, I just reduced the amount of smoking I was doing gradually. And it went from like, I don't know, a bunch a day to like 1 or 2 a day. And then it was like, oh, you know, I did my first day without smoking, and then like a week. And it got to a point where I think I went 3 months in a row, had a cigarette, went another 3 months, had a cigarette. And then after that, it kind of occurred to me that I could quit, and then for the longest time though, I had to tell myself that I was still a smoker, and that basically I didn't like the idea of telling myself I can't ever smoke again, which might sound really strange, but even though I wasn't smoking and it was just sort of in my head that I'm not saying I'm not going to smoke ever again. It just, I don't know, it gave me something, like the lack of permanence. I don't know, it was a strange way of thinking about it. But then so much time passed by, we're talking years, that eventually it hit me like, yeah, no, I've quit and that's it, I'm good. And I've totally have. I've never wanted to pick it back up again. Sometimes when I smell smoke, it gives me some interesting memories, you know, like smell and the association with memory. It takes you back on a little bit of a time warp. That can happen, but I think the only ways in which I would smoke again is maybe in some sort of like apocalyptic scenario. I don't know, but like even that, like, I think the charm of it has kind of gone. Because it's got an addictive quality, and I like pay attention to things that are addictive, and I just notice how that has a power over you rather than a utility. Drinking, says Devil God. I don't drink either. Kind of a different story with drinking, but you know, another thing that I had to quit. Anyways, big takeaway from everything I'm saying is, if you got the idea in your mind that you want to quit, don't think of it all as like one big thing, like you're just gonna quit and everything's gonna be solved. Take it a step at a time. You know, just maybe start by trying to have a few less cigarettes a day. That's better than continuing whatever you're on, right? So once you get used to that, you know, you can reduce it a little bit further or whatever. But hopefully everyone is thinking about taking those steps if you're a smoker, because look, we all know the truth. There's no point hiding from it. I'm so grateful for public spaces being mostly smoke-free zones in Europe at this point, says Curls of Doom. Me too, yeah. I certainly grew up through that being somewhat of a transition, right? Like, I remember when I was younger, all the pubs were, now you had to go outside to smoke and stuff like that, and that really helped. You know, it just being not as prevalent stops new people taking it up. Obviously now we've got the vaping problem. Everyone's doing this vaping thing and forgetting that, hey, you know, the last time we were ingesting ingesting smoke, or whatever we want to call it, vapor that isn't naturally occurring in the lungs, it took us decades to figure out how harmful it was for us, because it took a lot of people getting sick over a long period of time. You know, we may just be going through the same thing again. There's a lot of kind of nonsensy claims that vaping's safe and stuff, and it's like, the reality is we just don't know yet, right? It takes time to establish these things. A lot of the vaping community likes to throw around some studies that support their claims, but they're not, you know, great studies. And there's also anecdotal stories of people who are basically allergic to vaping and having horrible consequences from it in small numbers. Things that are not plain air in your lungs is always bad, says Laco Sissus 2. Seems so, doesn't it? Seems so, you know. Like, standing around a fire and breathing in fire smoke is terrible for your lungs. I think people forget that a lot of like air pollution, it comes from burning wood too. So remember, people used to burn wood in their homes to heat it, like a long time ago. That would have done vast amounts of damage too. Sorry, X, I missed what you said about the Create server. No rush, but when are you coming back, says Turtleburger. We're going to do a PvP event on there that I'm looking forward to. I don't know when I'm coming back. I'm just going to like assemble some ideas in my mind and get a little project together and then hop back on and do that. I've already got a few of them there. I've got like a few of the components for this idea together. It just needs to be enough for it to be a little more interesting, I think. You know, it falls into the category of game design, and that's like a creative pursuit of mine that I like to dabble into. But I've got like a really big game design project that's been going on for years. That's like, I think it's like holding on to a lot of that mental space, and it's probably good that it is, because like when push comes to shove and it's time for action, I've got so much I want to do with it. And it's just going to be such a great thing to talk about and show. But I'm just not there. Sorry, no, it's not that I'm not there. It's that like I feel like by starting something else, it'll take up that sort of creative space, which is really sort of strange. You know, we went back to the base to pick out some materials. Once again, just forgot to pick up something else I might need. So let's see, andesite, deep slate. We don't need more of this wood. Might I already have some in a chest? No. Deep slate, we've probably got enough here. 1, 2, 3. No more in there. So maybe a little bit more of that and some andesite. I don't mind. I don't mind travelling back and forth. We'll do it. We'll get it done in the end. What are those custom icons in your ender chest? How? Says Stilling. Well, if you've been watching my episodes of Hermitcraft, you'd know all about it. Basically, I have a mod that does a slight thing to rendering to let you achieve stuff like that with a resource pack. It's one of those things that's almost vanilla but not quite. And I did it for the intent of just experimenting. I found it immensely useful to have your shulker boxes give you more of a sense of what's inside of it. So if you want the explanation and links to mods, you know, it's in my episodes. The thumbnails should give you a hint as to which ones to click on and stuff. Maybe fix up the pick a little, says Xander. We'll probably get by on what we've got left for the moment. Oh, I've got to dig another tunnel immediately after, so maybe not. Also, Beef was looking for some deep slate emerald ore. I do not know if I've picked up any. I can see emerald ore. I feel like it would catch my eye and it would have a low number if there is any. It looks like I haven't actually got any. Right, we needed the andesite. Fetch the anaesthetist. I want to go onto the knife. I believe in this. What else did I come here for? Yeah, this one. I watched the movie 13 Lives on Amazon. Totally recommend it. If you like a real life story, dramatization. This one, apparently, the divers involved in it. It's everyone remembers when the World Cup was on. Everyone remembers. Everyone on planet Earth, even those people that weren't born yet, they remember back in that World Cup that happened in Russia quite a few years ago. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was. Gosh, 4.5. Everyone remembers those kids that got trapped in the cave in Thailand, right? Which, by the way, looks like an absolutely beautiful country. And yeah, this is that story, basically. And apparently the divers said that, you know, like, it was really accurate, the movie, apparently. The only thing was that you couldn't actually see in the water. But obviously, you know, they need to show you what's going on in the movie. So, fair enough. But totally worth a watch. 13 Lives, really good movie. Why did I start talking about it? That's a great question. Thanks for asking. I'm going to tell you the answer when I remember. Oh, God, I've forgotten. Why did I start talking about it? Ron Howard did direct that. Yes, he did. I then went and looked up other Ron Howard movies, and they're a bit patchy, but he's directed a couple of crackers here and there. Yeah, Ron Howard. Oh, that one where Musk said he'd help and sent the wrong kind of submarine vehicles, says Badger. Yeah, that one. That's and then he said some other unsafe. Did I only pick up 26? What is wrong with my brain? Maybe we'll get away with it. Let's find out. Jeez, we'll probably end up taking another trip. I do have a problem with that, of just like never grabbing enough stuff. I want to take less than or the exact amount that I need all the time, and end up taking less. Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once, One Big at the Golden Globes? I did. Unfortunately, I didn't really like that movie. It's the sort of movie that when I heard about it, I totally wanted to see. And honestly, I don't think I would want to rewatch it either. I can only describe my dissatisfaction of it with being... I think I didn't really connect with the characters or like get a sense of why we need to care about these characters enough to really invest in all the craziness that followed it. And having been on this planet for a few years, movies like that, you know, they come round every so often. These big sort of stories that have like a kind of earth-shaking presence, a little bit of psychedelia about them. And when I was younger, those movies were like, whoa, they're so cool, right? But then, as you get older and you've seen a few of them, I don't know, something kind of faded with that. So when I saw that movie, I was like really excited going in. And when all the madness started kicking off, I was also enjoying it, but then it just sort of lost me somewhere. It was just like too much madness, and I couldn't remember why I was supposed to care. Now, I'm not trying to, when I say this stuff, I'm not trying to like put the movie down, I'm just trying to explain what goes on in my head. Because what I want to do is enjoy things, right? Just sometimes it doesn't work out, it doesn't happen, and it sucks when that happens, but that was one of those, I guess. Did you watch Andor? I loved Andor. Andor was terrific. But yeah, why? Who can tell me? Come on, tell me now. Why did I mention 13 lives? What were we talking about before that? I need to know. I've got to figure out what was going on in my brain space. So we need to go back to get andesite. That was genius. We can start putting some of these... oh, those ones were cracked, were they? Okay. Start doing some of the deep slatey stuff. I really do like just doing some grindy stuff in Minecraft sometimes. I kind of wish I had like a decked out project though. I love it when you can do this, but it's like adding up to something really big. Which it's kind of not. That's okay. That's not a problem. But dang, Tango must really be enjoying building decked out. Especially because we all know it's going to be epic and wonderful. The game design with Create. Yeah, I was talking about that, but why would that... I feel like, didn't we move past that? I feel like, why would I jump from that to 13 lives? There was something about 13 lives that popped into my head. X, have you watched the Maze Runner series? I think I saw the first. Isn't it like a very teenager-oriented movie? I don't mind watching those movies at all. Like, there's something like crazy about being a teenager. It's just like a weird time in your life where it's crazy when you're in it, and then after it's still crazy. And so when you see those like stories that are really built around teenage characters like being adult, it's, I don't know, something about it, it's always always watchable. I don't know why, like I think maybe it just like ticks your mind over to being young again a little bit, just remembering how crazy all of that was. Create PvP. I was talking about my projects, right? And how I've got this game that I'm working on, so it kind of makes me feel like I don't really want to step into game design space too much because I've got that thing like inhabiting that mental space. Then we talked about Deep Slate Emerald Ore. Maybe that's just got me thinking about caves or something. I don't know. I think Tango is stressed building decked out, says NX Support. You know, I'm going to shoot Tango a message and ask him how it's going. And see if he needs any help. Because he's building a massive project there, and I've offered help in the past, and you know, like, you don't want to be a pester when you offer help to people and they're like, nah, cool, it's good, but sometimes situations change and maybe people don't like reach back out again. But I'd be happy to like help in some way if there was a way for me to help. If you want some large-scale game ideas, I got some for you. I'll never build myself. Lucro, share away, man. Like, I love the idea space, you know, and sometimes someone sharing an idea of you sparks off all kinds of other ideas. Yeah, I think I definitely would really love to build something in survival. I've got that cube control concept, like, sort of there, like, pretty much sussed out. I don't know if I want to build it in survival or not, is the thing. I was just talking about how much I love grinding stuff out. You see, it's the creator mindset. Once you're like, hey, I've got this project I'm going to build in this world, and you know it's going to take a lot of time, then you start putting pressure on yourself. And that's why I avoid just following that, because we did some streams on it, we sussed out like a lot of how to make it work, and then I kind of thought, do I want to do this in creative as like a command block thing? Maybe would be a smarter way to enjoy the idea, or do I want to grind it out in Hermitcraft? And these things always come with like these feelings of pressure of like, because you're a creator, it needs to be done like prompt or in a certain amount of time, and that's the thing that I need to carefully think about going forward with this stuff, right? Giving yourself space to breathe and whatnot, and yeah, Badger says, I say he's more rejuvenated about it recently after not being able to work on it in the Empire's crossover. That sounds like, you know, that sounds about right. You do get rejuvenated when you take a break. Tanny Glace, thank you so much for 41 months. Appreciate your support. Appreciate it. Why did we start talking about that movie? Driving myself mad now. Oh, I feel like there was something I was about to say, and then the movie distracted me, and then it's like, what's this other thing? My dream game would be a factions-based apocalypse MMO where you can make towns and raid each other on RP as raiders/bandits and kind of do like what the Ashes of Creation is going to be but Fallout. That sounds massively ambitious. Like, cool idea, no doubt about it. When I look at like game ideas like that, like the way you've described that one to me, I just see like an immense amount of work and then an immense amount of balancing. I would, you know, it would take a lot to put something together like that, right? Maybe a VOD goblin can answer that and find the missing link. Yeah. You were talking about Rick and Morty earlier, maybe it was linked to that. I think we kind of wrapped up the Rick and Morty stuff. Well, anyway, that was a good movie, and there was something about it that it popped into my mind for. Don't you hate it when you get a little thought bug in your head? That's what I got right now. I got a little thought bug. It's not letting go of it. It's like, there was something, you know, whatever. Did you ever find out what that sci-fi movie was? No, I know what one you're talking about. The one about going to the edge of the universe. I really don't, like, at this point, I feel like I've exhausted all search options. And just don't really have a clue, like, where to look. That's kind of that, basically. We should leave a little opening around here just to remind me that there was a beacon. Because that's going to be something I want to retrieve, right, when we're done. It will come to you when you least expect it, says Curls. Yeah. Yeah, if we just move on, it'll probably come back to me. Hey, Candy Murder House! Oh, Candy Murder House. Thank you so much for gifting a sub. Sending cuddles your way. Old Candy Murder House. Thanks for gifting a sub to Magpie Life. Appreciate you doing that. Yeah, I've been watching some Star Trek. I watched an episode of Enterprise. I actually think that series was like not as terrible as some people would make out. It has its flaws. It has some great qualities to it as well. I think the captain character was terrific. But I was just looking up episodes related to the Borg and decided to watch one where they rewrote a little bit of Borg history. It was alright. It was okay. And then I watched a Voyager episode where they basically go into orbit over a planet that has this like incredible gravity well. And it means that time on the planet moves extremely fast compared to their ship in orbit. It's such a cool concept to explore. Like the idea of like they're on the spaceship and like every second is equivalent to a year on the planet. Have I run out of these as well? We've got to go back and get more lamps and more andesite, I guess. Dang, taking all the trips today. So much for efficiency. At least we're having fun. Are they the same height? 1, 2, 3. Feels like this one's a little roomier. Maybe just because it's finished. Sweetest Honeybee says, God, I need to go back and watch more Star Trek. I've been watching The New Generation. Next Generation is just... The New Generation? You mean The Next Generation? It's such an amazing show. Amanda Panda, thank you ever so much for the Prime. Appreciate ya. Appreciate ya. Yeah, the Voyager was really good episode. Oh yeah, the Doctor goes for a visit. That's right, they send the Doctor, who's one of my favourite characters from that show. I was thinking about how the Star Trek stuff is kind of like a comfort show. Now, like these, like language changes over time. Oh my god. I was listening to this audiobook that had a bit about language, and they put an excerpt in it of someone speaking like they were from the 14th century. Now, you're probably thinking, good day, sir, or ye old what they talk about? Ye old castle on thine hill or something, right? But the way this person pronounced it, oh my god, it was so different. It was like you can kind of hear a few English words in there, and you've got a little bit of an idea. But dang, is it different? And the point that they were making is that language actually changes really fast, right? And if you think about how your grandparents speak in comparison to yourself, you might go, actually, there's quite a few differences here, isn't there? Things that they say, the ways that they say them, the things they choose to talk about. That's another thing about language. We have a lot of language for stuff like mental health these days. So that's all a whole thing. Where was I going with this? See, my brain's done it again. Got too excited, went all over the place. Reel me back in, chat. What did I jump off of when I decided to go to this story? Kanye Twiddy, even. Thank you so much for 2 months of support. Jeez, there's an unsavory character. 14th century, yes, and Star Trek. Okay, and then the Doctor and the Comfort Show. Right, we're back on track. So, I have now observed, over the last 10 years, certain words and phrases popping up that you younger people are using. I'm assuming you're younger. That I find really interesting. Obviously, gender is a big one with language that's being addressed and changing. And there are certain other terms to do with like mental health. And one that I've noticed lately is comfort. And I noticed it when someone said, "Oh, Xisuma, you're my comfort streamer." And I was like, comfort streamer? And what it essentially does is probably highlight how interacting with a certain form of media or personality makes you feel comfortable, right? And sometimes we go through our lives not feeling comfortable and therefore are in need of a little bit of comfort. And it's just part of the changing language that sort of identifies how we interact with stuff around us. So anyway, it occurred to me that, like, I think Star Trek for me is like a comfort show. Because when I was younger and I watched it, I had far less, let's say, what's the term? Like, disenfranchised is the term that I always hear used for this. Like, I just felt so disconnected from the world and, like, I didn't have a place, purpose, didn't belong. I have much more of that now, thanks to family and friends and all of you as well, have given me a sense of purpose in a space like this. And when I watched that show, it's not like I identified with the characters or I thought I were like them, which is something I notice people do. Some people do the identity thing a lot, where it's like they identify with. I didn't do that. I've never been one to identify that strongly in that sort of way. But for me, it was just like, I felt like I'd be alright if I was surrounded by people like that. And so the characters in Star Trek are usually very admirable and have like really, I don't know, compared to today, they would have like just such an elevated sense of like moral standard and well-being towards one another, because they're from a future that's very positive and things have gone well. And so it's kind of like seeing the best of a potential humanity in the future. Characters like the Doctor and Data, I just absolutely love. They're always like pleasant, and there's like no... It's true of most characters, but I feel like because they're AIs, they're just sort of politeness shines through stronger or something. And I just absolutely love them being on the screen. And you're just thinking like, wouldn't I love to just be, you know, in this space with these sort of people around you? It make you feel like things are all right, you know. Everyone likes a good Picard speech, as NX Support. Yeah, Picard for me doesn't evoke those sorts of feelings in the same way. He's a real like strong-minded character, but his speeches are absolutely brilliant. They're always on like morals and ethics, right? He really peers into the heart of that kind of stuff. Kel Birdie says Data and the Doctor are my favourite characters from Star Trek series. Yeah, same here. Justice for Ensign Rowe, says Badger. Isn't Ensign Rowe Isn't she like a character earlier on? She's like got dark hair. She's a bit of like a strong-minded character with a sort of a bit of a sense of maybe like rebellion in her past or something. I'm picturing her. I'm pretty sure it's Ensign Row. And then doesn't she reappear? No, there's the other character, Natasha, who reappears later on as a Romulan. That's one thing I remember, but I can't actually remember if Bajoran. That's right. They expand on the Bajorans in Deep Space Nine because they're a big part of the storyline. Yeah, where does she crop up? Where does she crop up in the show? She's not there at the beginning and she's not there at the end, if I remember correctly. Where is that? Do you know where it is? I'm looking for a crafting bench and it's just like, it's hidden. Let's take these things with us so we stop running around like a headless chicken. Hey, King Spy 1, thank you so much for 75 months of support. That is an Evil X right there. I've enjoyed watching your streams and you're such a chill streamer. Though I don't make it to many streams, I make it up with your YouTube videos. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate your continued support and I hope you have fun with us hanging out today. Sulfuric Deity, thank you so much for the Prime. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm getting a phone call that I can't take. Ro appears in Season 4, I believe, says Kalerif. And how long does she last for, then? Someone at work is named Data after Data. I would love to be nicknamed Data. Oh. Like, I love the way, like, he's constantly curious with humanity. Right? Like, I feel like Data sometimes is the most human of all because of curiosity. Curiosity is just such a strange concept. I don't know. It feels like to emerge from an AI. Like, you can imagine it being smart and efficient and... I don't know, like, what would an AI be drawn to? Well, curiosity strikes me as just being something, like, non-robotic, non-computable. And that's obviously just a completely, like, subjective, qualitative statement. It's not objective or, like, measurable. I mean, how does one measure curiosity to begin with? Like, what is that? But Data's curiosity is just endlessly endearing and often very humorous too. She was always a bit of a rebel, but Picard got on well with her. She was in Season 9/10 when she was killed off. There's only 7 seasons of The Next Generation, as there were Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and then Enterprise only had 4. Enterprise kind of like lost the tone of the other shows. The other shows really like held a similar tone to one another, and then Enterprise kind of loses it a little bit. And then I don't know if they planned on doing 7 seasons of that, but it got called off. Bit of a shame, really. I would have loved for more of that, like, 90s Star Trek universe. I mean, there's a heck of a lot of it, to be fair. But to be treated to more of that. That's why, like, when Picard, the show, came back, it was hopes and dreams of more of that 90s feel, but that's not what that show is. My mistake, it was from 5 to 7, says Mom PJC. Ah, okay. I think I might just rewatch it. Like, there's always stuff to be watching. I put this idea in my head at some point that, like, consuming and watching entertainment was, like, not a great use of your time, but I'm sort of, like, reevaluating that a little bit as of late. Like, there are times for it. It's inspiring too. It gets your brain into a different space sometimes. What about the Amazon series Picard, says James did it? I just mentioned that it didn't feel like it didn't capture the 90s sort of spirit, which is what I was hoping for. I just don't watch a lot of TV anymore, says Sweetest Honeybee. Neither do I. I never watch, like, just TV channels, right? Haven't ever really, except maybe when I was a kid. But I do watch TV shows. It's just through Netflix or something like that, right? I watch it when I eat, and sometimes when I do stuff like playing Minecraft and recording on the computer, I might have a show on the side. Ah, what's going on here? We want these to face downwards. We've got a pattern that we need repeated. Sulfuric Deity, what a crazy name. Thank you so much for your Amazon Prime subscription. Appreciate it, my dude. Right, there we go. Seems to be the most of it, doesn't it? Just looked on the wiki. I had all the TNG on VHS at one point. In Wikipedia, says she went to Deep Space Nine. Yeah. Yeah, she did. I really want to watch Deep Space Nine again. That I will. I just want to give it a couple more years. I watched it in the first year of the pandemic, like summer 2020, I think. James did it, 72. Thank you so much for the Prime subscription. My question is, what did you do? What did you do? Did you subscribe? Nah, it was a terrible joke. Thank you. Appreciate you. Anyway, we mentioned like comfort streaming or like that entering the language, right? And I guess Star Trek for me feels like a bit of a comfort show. I'm not like the same person I was when I watched it back then, but it brings me that same sense of just peace. Something peaceful, like, this is... Humanity will get here one day, I hope, you know? I haven't watched Deep Space Nine, but I heard it's very good. It really is. Like, if you enjoyed The Next Generation, just watch Deep Space Nine. Don't think about it. Like, I remember my friend raving about it years ago. Like, oh my god, like early days of making YouTube videos, basically. And I don't know, like for some reason I just thought about it too much. Like, oh, do I really want to commit to like watching this big old Star Trek show? And just start watching it. The first season has a couple of stinkers in it, but that's just kind of how shows were made back then, right? You had to have 26 episodes, and there's one or two not so great episodes, but in that first season it will captivate your attention as you go through, and if it doesn't, then you could probably move on. Sulfuric Deity, thank you for the lovely message, appreciate it. Seinfeld a new girl on my comfort shows, love a good sitcom. I never got into Seinfeld at the time, and I feel like it's one of those ones that I'll probably struggle to, but I did take the time to watch a few episodes, and it made me chuckle here and there. There was one joke, though, that, like, it was when I was ill, I was, like, sick, and, like, really poorly. That was the beginning of last year, I think, and a joke in it, like, it cracked me up so hard, and, like, to the point where I was in absolute agony because I was laughing so much and I was sick. Cisco gets good once he gets a beard, just like Riker says, Arleth. Cisco's great. I absolutely love Cisco's character. Yeah, such a great show. He's in American History X. After I'd seen him in Deep Space Nine, I was then rewatching that movie, and then I was like, oh, the principal, I know you. You're from space. Breaking Bad is my favourite, says Lightning Aussie. Love Breaking Bad. I've watched that show like 4 or 5 times. I think the only show I've watched more is The Wire. That's got to be the GOAT, right? Everyone loves to say the GOAT these days, apparently. Now I'm saying it too. No, Doc M, you're not the GOAT. The Wire is. Yeah, the actor O'Brien is in many series of movies. Yeah, he is. He's in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia too, right? He turns up on that show. Malcolm O'Combe, I think his name was, or something. Yeah, he's brilliant. Better Call Saul is even better. I think Better Call Saul, like, is a little more on the artistic side, but is absolutely incredible. I kind of like... If I think about it, I enjoyed that show so much, I don't know if I would say it was better than Breaking Bad. But, like, if you just pair them together and be like, hey, if you enjoyed that, watch this. Just pair them together. That's the easy way to solve that one, right? X, have you ever seen Stargate? Only as a kid. Like, used to come home and like put on the telly and Sky One. Oh my god, sometimes you just wish for simpler days, right? Those days were terrible, honestly, but like come home, I'd watch like Sky One or Nickelodeon or something, or MTV and VH1. Those are sort of my go-to channels. and you would have The Simpsons on there. The Next Generation was actually on there all the time, but I never really liked it until I was a bit older. I think I started watching The Next Generation in my 20s. Early 20s. Stargate was one of the shows that was on there, and I always remember this episode where, like, there's these aliens that have, like, white puffy light bulbs on them, and the concept, I think, is that, like, their presence there is killing them off because they're allergic or something. It's just, like, the one image that's stuck in my head from it. And, I got a feeling... if I were to take the time to go watch it, I'd probably enjoy a bit more of it than I might suspect, perhaps. I'm actually like I really quite like that sci-fi stuff when it's done the right way, or a particular way. Let's keep placing these blocks. This is a big old tunnel, isn't it? And we've been streaming for an hour. I feel like I'll sit down in a little bit. Maybe not just yet. I loved MASH, says Rebellion Ranger. They used to play that on Sky One, didn't they? I never got into that one, though. Do you have a Discord, says James Did It? I do. It's for Twitch subscribers. If you are subscribed on Twitch, you can hook up and join the Discord. Alright, we need more slabs again. Sorry I missed yesterday, I was celebrating my birthday, says Randy. You missed my live stream for your birthday, Randy. You're breaking my heart, dude. Like, of all the things you would miss one of my insignificant little live streams for. Your birthday. Just putting yourself above me, are you? I see how it is. I see how it is, Randy! I know what's going on here. No, I'm messing with you. You know I'm messing with you. Hope you had a great birthday, my dude. No worries at all. And, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Belated. That's a word that I feel like I only ever hear in that sentence. Belated, doesn't belated just mean delayed? I guess it's maybe one of those words that's just slightly more specific. Loving this tunnel design, by the way, says Quicksilver Fox. It's really quite nice, isn't it? It's simple, but effective. I like that we left the basalt in as well, actually. It just kind of, even though most of it was already there, it just seems to fit really well. Right, looks like we've got the... Oh! We've got a nether portal to move now. We want to make it look like that. Which means I need to grab some andesite and do some markings. Where does this tunnel go, says Toot Minute. Toot Minute. Goes to the mining mesa, my dude. B Sky Glow, thank you for supporting the channel with 4 months of subscription. Happy Wednesday, yeah, happy Wednesday. Hopefully Snapshot Wednesday. X Knight Rider or Airwolf? I don't know what the difference is. Okay, so basically, if I just take a screenshot, that's something I wanted to do for the shot. I was like, if I just, you know, take a screenshot will be good. I've got that on my other screen now, so I can just remedy what we've got to do from that. So, somewhere in here we've got the obsidian, then we've got the flint and steel. Gonna definitely need possibly a little bit more of that. I never put carpets down again on the other side, right? I guess I'll have to go amend that. Do you like Ramstein, says Saint FCK Face. What a beautiful name. How pleasant. Yeah, I love Ramstein. Seen them live a bunch of times. Amazing band. In fact, I think I told the story before. It's not like a, oh wow, a story. It's just a little thing. But I was in the crowd when the keyboard guy comes out in, I'm sure he's got a name. maybe they all just call him Keyboard Guy. Alright, Keyboard Guy, we're going to make another record. Anyway, he comes out into the crowd on a little rubber dinghy, and it sort of collapses right next to where I'm standing. So I help like push the boat back up, and then the guy next to me like asks for a leg up. So I give this guy a leg up, and he gets in the boat with the guy, and rides around on the, you know, next to the crowd or whatever, however you word that. And then after a while, he's like, dude, get out of here. I've got to go back on the stage, man. Kicked him out of the boat. Good times, good memories. Oh, I see. It's actually back here that the obsidian is, right. Yeah, if I'm seeing it correctly now. Is that right? I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, no, maybe I wasn't supposed to dig all of that out. Yeah, no, it's supposed to just go here. Huh. Put it back. Being a donkey. Not that there's anything wrong with being a donkey. X, are those non-basalt blocks in the top part of the tunnel left intentionally? The one with the existing portal? Oh, I think I see what you're getting at. I'll go back and look at that. That's another thing that I need to fix over there, I guess. Right, and that, my friends, will be the portal. X, were you ever able to see Queen live before Freddie died? I'd have been too young. Too young. Is it me or just can anyone hear a magma cube squishing behind a wall somewhere? Well, we are in the basalt deltas, so I'm guessing you probably are hearing that. Right, let's finish this little bit up. Not much left here, really, is there? Can you say sweet? Ah. Yeah, I just noticed it sort of dips down for no reason. Did it do that on the other side like that? Uh-huh. I think I left that bed there. Galaxy Voices, has anyone heard of this guy on on YouTube called xisumavoid? Nope, never heard of them. Next question, please. Yeah, so it's just this bit here that's slightly different. That someone noticed. Probably gave them some sort of anxiety. Oh, and that one. Right, we just need to get our beacon back, I think. Although, we might... Oh, look. Apparently, I didn't really... Oh, didn't I decide to actually... I remember now. I decided just to leave it like that. I was like, oh, it adds in a little bit of variation. But since we didn't do that on the other side, it's done now. So, we've got a beacon, but we might be using that for the next bit. If it doesn't reach, it doesn't really matter. Because it's over here, right? Xisuma Witch Farm, Look, this doesn't even need any digging, really. So this portal here... Okay, I'm going to have to take a screenshot. It looks like these were reserved for every other section. Huh. Didn't realise it worked like that. Well, we can just put some carpet down. Just make a very simple connection over here. We'll just start off by making sure this thing connects, really. I think that's all we need to do. Throw away a couple of junk items. So we'll want the portal pretty much here-ish, I think. Let's see if this connects up or not. Right, dismantle the old one. There is an unfinished wall in the new path. Yes, that's where the beacon is. Trying to work out what gigs I can go to in the UK before my American visa gets issued. Definitely going to see Hack and Calandra, but don't know if I can make Spirit Box in July, says Badger. I haven't been going to gigs for a while. I think it's something I need to get back into. I was eyeing up some dates and stuff, but I think I'm just going to wait until the next couple of weeks have passed and then maybe see how I feel and pick something out. Spirit Box is one of those ones I didn't get into. If I remember, aren't they a little bit like post-metalcore, Dejunty, sort of the modern state of metal sound? I didn't find them very interesting. In fact, I haven't really been listening to as much metal at all really lately. Have I considered doing music live myself? Considered it, but I don't really want to do that. That's not how I enjoy music. Right, let's go here. Rigstig says I've been to 3 shows in the last couple of years. Caught the sea twice. Caught the vid. Dang, that's unfortunate, my dude. Hope you got over it well. They can be a bit Marmite. Courtney is a really good metal vocalist. Bit Marmite. I like that phrase, but I feel like I don't know what it means. Yeah, I mean, like, good metal vocalists these days is just, I don't know. It's the bands that aren't as typically metal as you might expect that have been more interesting, like Ghost, you know, just... Anyone who's doing something that's, like, not quite typically metal is more interesting to me. All the like, straight metal stuff, it's just like, heard this years ago. It's stagnated so much. And therefore I am quite somewhat uninterested in it, I guess. So yeah, we'll do a similar but different little design here because this is such a smaller tunnel. I'm also seeing Harry Styles in May, says Penelope Sky. I've heard that name on occasion. There's these, like Ed Sheeran, there's these huge names that I'm aware of, but I've never actually listened to their songs. And one of them I actually listened to when I was on holiday. I listened to Taylor Swift's this song. I was just like trying to use Spotify different and get it to just give me some stuff that people are listening to. And it threw on this song called Anti-Hero. And I really liked the lyrics of it. And enjoyed the song and all that. And then, like literally the next day, sitting down to eat, what have they got playing on in the dining hall? That song. It must just be like a big hit right now or something. I'm guessing. 1. Yeah, we'll go for that. Super simple. Similar, but different. Might as well fill in those spaces in between. It just started chucking it down outside, raining. The weather, since I've been back in the UK, the weather has just like been making me feel miserable. I think I might have seasonal affective disorder. I used to love winter and the darkness and all that, but I don't know, you change, right? And, God, like, when I was on holiday, although it was cold, it was, like, bright and sunny pretty much most of the time, which was amazing. And, since I've been back, it's just, like, oh, cloudy and wet and rainy, which is never, like, a particularly... You know, that's not gonna do much for your mood anyway, right? But it just got me thinking about how, like, miserable the weather is here in the UK, basically. It's been raining very often recently, so I know how you feel, says Disco Creeper. Yeah, I haven't been going outside for walks as much. I went for one this morning. I don't know, back in the same old place, just trying to break those old fort habits, I guess. It just felt a bit odd. In some ways. I used to live in the northeast US where the winter was long and dark. A lot of people would sit under sun lamps to help with SAD, but I had to move. Interesting, sun lamps. Let me write that on my little post-stream list. By the way, we had a noise in the ear. Shizaru, thank you ever so much for your subscription. I appreciate it. Apologies for being late on that one. Sometimes I get into a waffle and I get distracted. So I got a message Tango and then I got to look into sun lamps because I feel like If I wake up later and it's sunny, I have a better start to the day. If I wake up and I look outside and it's just dark, I just don't feel it. I'm just like, ugh. I think I might want to shift my schedule a little bit so that I can play on Hermitcraft later as well, because I feel like everyone plays when I'm not on, and yeah, it's just made me feel a little, I don't know, like distant. And maybe if I change when I go to bed and whatnot, and might be able to shimmy things around. The problem for me is that I usually wake up when the sun comes up, but then the sun ain't coming up too early this time of year, so you can stay up later, that kind of thing. What did I need to pick up here? I might as well maybe pick up everything. So we've got to come back and do the beacon. In fact, we can just do it now and finish this thing off. So we need to make some more of those deep slate tiles. It's been raining too much to the point where places are flooding and gloomy weather indeed, says Banyan. I mean, I'm talking from a UK perspective, right? Like, it depends where you are in the world. So I don't know where you are in the world, but, I mean, you know, it's summer in Australia, right? So when we talk about the weather and stuff, it's different around planet Earth, different spots. I mean, I'm just commenting on where I am here in the UK. Right, there we go. Tunnel complete. Off to the next one. Right, I think I'm going to sit down for the rest of the stream. Oh, let's grab this chair. Parts of California are really bad with rain right now. Whole streets have been washed away. Dang, that's crazy. I'm going to have some water and hydrate. Imaginary Mind says you were standing? Madman even. Yeah, I stand at my desk. It's much nicer than sitting. The key thing though is that you really just need the change. You need to change your posture often. What about the iron blocks, says Gil? Why? I'll pick up some more iron from the iron farm in a bit, that'll do. Is the slurping sound a soundbite or real? I can make it a soundbite. If that worked. No, that didn't work, did it? Or did it? Let's try it again. I mean, any excuse to get more. This is. Oh! Oh! That's what it sounds like. I can hear it when I play it back. Jerry J, thank you ever so much for the Prime subscription. Appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying the stream, having a good time. Oh, he's doing the trolling again, says Curls of Doom. I'm not trolling. I can just drink while I talk. God, leave me alone. Liking the new animations with the desk, says PJ Petch. Thank you. Done by the Puka. Great animations as always, right? I'm going to have a bit more. I'm going to have a bit more hydration time here. Which one's the soundbite, eh? Yeah, right. Isn't that a creeper and the armor stand? Yeah, that is a creeper. I should just stand here like this for a while. And then for anyone who tunes in, they're going to be like, X, watch out. Oh, wait, it's not moving. What's going on? I'm confused. Lightning Aussie says 2 AM here, off to bed, take care of Xisuma and hope. Chat, stay safe. Stay safe yourself. And have a good sleep. Scar's costume, it is, yeah. It doesn't exactly need to stay here though. You should replace it with a real creeper. That would be an amazing prank. Like if someone came here and like put some blocks around it to make it look like it were caged off, but then one day went and replaced those blocks. Oh, I got a Discord message from False. Sorry, replace those blocks, replace the creeper. Oh, False. Okay, what I'm doing, Oh, let me change back my Discord to my mods. There we go. You know, it's not community tunnels. It's just my tunnels in the community area. So, I have a connection to the desert and the mining mesa that I've been using all season, and I just decided I wanted to do a simple dig and grind and decorate, and now I'm just finishing off a third one which goes to my witch hut. After that, I've got something else that I'm going to do. So like, oh. Okay. There's another tunnel that goes to another mining desert and mesa. Yeah, I was just doing the ones that I use, basically. So I don't know if you had plans for that. I apologise if you did, but I just felt like getting on here and doing some of these little bits. Let's modify this entrance just a touch. I feel like it looks a bit odd the way it currently is. And then take these ones. I think I might mess this up. We can always redo it if I got it wrong. Oh yeah, those make 3, don't they? Right, so that one is like that. This one is like so. These come across here. Yeah, this might actually work. Put something in that space. Cool, so I was looking out for a reply, by the way, if you want to drop one, or if you're gone, well, you're gone. I mean in Twitch chat as well. What is the new shop from the title? The new shop is actually related to False, funny enough. Basically, False built that copper shop, the little copper golem guy, right? And I'm going to open a copper shop, obviously. And I just kind of thought that, like, the copper golem was sort of, you know, the thing to build. But like an aged copper golem, because I'm going to sell the aged stuff, not the normal stuff. Something like that. All good, don't worry, you're opening a copper shop. Yeah, like we've built the copper aging facility with pixel riffs, so I have absolutely stupid amounts of aged copper. I've got a honeycomb farm for it as well, and I'm going to open up a shop that just sells those. But we're getting to the end game now, so it's more like, it's not really a shop, it's more just like getting the materials into Hermit's hands so they can go and do amazing cool projects and all that kind of stuff, right? At this point in the season. And I really like the little Rusty statue, and so I thought I'd recreate it in weathered form over in the shopping area and then sell some stuff there. That was kind of my idea. And I've been a little bit short on those kind of ideas for stuff like shops and whatnot as of late. As the seasons go by, I kind of wish there were like some new concepts to collectively explore, because it's just like, you know, shops and shops over and over again. And yeah, with my new approach to making content at the moment that I'm sort of getting my head around, I think I want to like try and find bigger projects and not spend so much time just pumping out videos and constantly doing the sort of stuff we do. I'm moving that guy to my shop, says Full Symmetry. Well, then we can have, you know, like a regular and an aged one in the shopping area. We can make a deal out of it. We can make something of it. Hey, can you provide copper oxidation farm schematic, please? Says TFR Gaming. I don't really like distribute stuff like that. Really, Pixel Rift might have. It's his farm. I wasn't trying to steal your farm, by the way, False. It was just... sorry, shop. It was... I don't know, didn't realise if you had plans to build a copper shop too. I was just... I liked that little statue guy. Thought it would be funny if... Hey, what have I done here? I've done something wrong. Have I? Just thought it would be kind of funny to... yeah, bring that guy sort of back. in weathered form. Right, am I doing this right? Are we done here? I think we're done here. Until I did that. Uh-huh. Okay, that's kind of it. There's almost enough space to maybe... Nah, not really. Like, imagine a witch face above it. Also, this thing isn't really distinguished from the other ones, but the design just suits branching off of this area, so I don't think we have to worry about that. What we'll do... Can I put like a little dangle here? Let's put a little dangle. Where are the hanging signs? We need the hanging signs. Which farm is it? I don't know. Yeah, we checked that gets hooked up, so that's nice. Just cleaning up another bit. You know. What's going on now? I'm being offended, chat. What are chat saying? False accusation? Oh, Fegley said not a proper shop. Oh, I see. Dang, that's rude. That's rude right there. Oblivious X twice this stream, says Bannian. I can't read every message in chat. I'm waffling and I'm catching up. Jeez. Jeez, y'all expect me to be omniscient, I swear. Right, we need another tidy away box. Getting way too many of these. Gonna have to, yeah, I can probably leave the sorting machine on for a bit. Oh, do we have any snapshot news yet? I'm gonna open Twitter. Let's have a quick look. This will all get sorted away. These things are for our valuables. Sort away. Light sources, valuables. Sort away, sort away. Food. That's a sort away, yeah. So is that. Right. That means... Valuables go in here. What's valuable? Obsidian. Lighting goes in there. Beacon goes in here. Yeah, yeah. Then utility blocks and tools, I think, are what's next. We want your attention 200% of the time, of course, says Lightly Lucid. 200% of the time, eh? That sounds about right. Yeah, something feels a bit wrong about... Do I have more picks than that? I don't think I've got any more picks than just the one on my hotbar, basically. Wait, this is like a silk touch. So don't I have a... I guess that's my fortune pick. I never made it netherite. Never did that, did I? Right, we've got this thing over here. What are the tools made of? They look really cool. Sorry, I'm new here. They're made of netherite. And we've done a good old sort away there. So these things get to go back. Ah, that's what I was missing. Probably go to the Enderman farm, right? There was another netherite pick in that box though, says Lucaro. No, that wasn't a pick, that was a hoe. So that'll go back into storage, and then the rest of these are for sorting. Maybe take out some of the bulks and do those manually. X is offended because you're stealing her shop idea. False Beans is selling copper and has from the beginning the first shops of the server. But yeah, but I'm selling aged copper, right? It's like the yin and the yang. I don't know. Jeez. I mean, I guess maybe you can see it that way. I don't know. I just like really like the little rusty guy, and he wasn't in the shopping area, and I thought it'd be funny to turn him into like weathered copper and bring him over. I've got like zero other ideas if I'm going to open a shop, and I've got stupid amounts of that stuff to give to others. Maybe I could think of it from that direction. Like rather than make a shop, maybe I make a competition where you can win the copper, right? That actually interests me way more than just selling. Like, selling stuff's boring. Maybe we can brainstorm that instead of doing what I was going to do then. If y'all think that would be a better alternative, chat, what do you think? Let me know with a comment down below. Leave a like while you're there. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Oh no, wait, we're on Twitch. I need to get my second account up on here. Okay, and now the launcher's being slow. Thanks, launcher. Thanks for being slow. Let's get this thing on here. It's a joke, I'm sure. I'm just providing context to the individual message you saw in chat. Yeah, maybe it was a joke. Look, basically, when you play on a server with other people, if you're like me, sometimes you just get an idea in your head of something you're going to do, and you don't, like, fully think about what it might mean to other people. I didn't know that False was actually selling copper there. Like, I haven't brought any copper this season, and I sort of thought it was just like a defunct old shop that was, you know, no longer being a thing. And now maybe I learned that, oh, actually I'm stepping on someone's toes, right, by doing this. So maybe I'll just come up with a different idea instead. Right? Not a problem. Not a problem. If anything, it may, you know, maybe it was a bit of a lazy idea. Like, maybe it'll nudge me to do something better, because it was an idea of like, well, I don't know what else to do for a copper shop. So like, what about that old thing? I like that little rusty guy. Let's, you know, maybe there's a better idea than that we could pursue. Does Tuff belong in here? I can't remember. Belongs over here. Dang! Oh, these are really full up. These ones. Okay, that one needs to be put away. That can get sorted. So that one... In fact, all three of these are a bit full of blocks that we don't want cycling through all the time. If you are wondering why I've got a sorter and I'm doing some of it manually, it's just really to save some time. That's Mr. Copy to you, X. Mr. Copy? Is that his name? Right. Oh. So much. This is where all the andesite was. So much junk. Look at this. It's all got to get sorted away. I mean, some of it can get thrown away, to be fair. Don't want that. What about basalt? We're about to do some nethery blocks. Yeah, there's a few there. Right, we've got a little bit of free space. And I need to get that camera account on so we can get this thing rolling. That's not Minerva. Actually, that's where they go, isn't it? Basalt on that side. These ones on this. I guess we'll put in some of that too while we're over here. Okay, the andesite stuff can go up there. So we got, not that. These nether blocks, those will get sorted away. Might as well do the tough. Right, just having a little read of chat again, just keeping up to speed with what y'all are talking about. Looks like you need to do a resource run for blocks soon. I detect sarcasm there. What's that one? Andesite, yeah, I'll just let... go on. And then these blocks. Right, and then all of that will just get sorted, because I'm done doing a bit of manual sorting for now. We've got the black stone to put away. The tough, oh yeah, up here. Tough and andesite. Bit of the stone. Redstone over here. Come on, look at that. Bam. Right, now where is my camera account at? It's logged in, it's somewhere else, I don't know where it is. And now it's where I am. So you can't see it, but I got a little camera account on AFK mode over here. Oh yeah, I put Twitter up on my screen. Right, no tweets from the devs. No frogs! Maybe it won't be today. I'm hoping it's the first one's today, because if it's next week, I might not be able to like start working on it until like 7 or 8 in the evening, and I have to get up early in the morning too. So like, whatever. It'll be what it will be, right? Okay, now the sorting machine is running, and I do this every single time, and it's completely pointless. But I love to put all the single items. Spruce doesn't actually get sorted in here. Just so it starts to clear a little quicker, I put all the lesser items down the front here. And then that way it just feels like there's more space if you want to chuck something else in. It's completely pointless. I'm literally telling myself this is pointless clicks. These are some of the clicks that I've made in my life that are completely pointless, but I made them anyway. Alright, what did we say we'd do next? We said we were going to go to the shopping area and copy False's shop. Oh, what if I put all the shulker boxes first? I guess they'll get sorted away, wouldn't they? But we might now change tact. Okay, so here's where y'all get to help me. Alright? You get to make things happen on the Hermitcraft server. Casean1339, thank you for 4 months of support, my dude. Greatly appreciated. And I hope you enjoy the stream. Curls of Doom says you'll never get those clicks back. I'll never get those clicks back, that is true. But I had the ability to make those clicks in the first place, which is the miracle of life. Yes, there's a bazillion things you could be doing with your time right now, but the fact that you got time to do even one of those things is the miracle. And the thing that we should be thankful for. And why you shouldn't overthink and get stressed out about, oh my god, am I spending my time correctly? There's a time and a place for figuring that stuff out. You get a general direction and then you go with it, but you don't overthink it. Dang, it's getting busy on here. It's getting busy on here today. Right, so I know where to go. We go like that with the sound effects and the noises. Hyreloxid says, why is Mumbo not playing Hermitcraft? What do you mean, why is he not playing it? He was just streaming with us for the entirety of this stream. Well, not obviously, he left a while ago, but we were hanging out, answering questions from chat, and having a good time and laughing and all that. What do you mean he's not playing? He's literally streaming with us most of this stream. Sri Bleeblo, thank you ever so much for subscribing. Appreciate it. Appreciate it ever so much. Right, yeah. Oh wait, is this one weathered? I thought it... I didn't... Oh my god. I'm so out of the loop. This one is weathered. I thought it was all, you know, coppery. So I was going to build, like... Wait a minute. The blocks that aren't weathered... I think this thing might have been pranked, because the ones that aren't weathered, with the exception of 1 or 2, are actually... like the textures that aren't copper, that match the coppery colour, right? Yeah, so okay, it sounds like False had plans for this. So like, how do we give people copper? What's an inch? Let's think about the mechanics of copper a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go onto the Redstone server. Mumbo's playing on his laptop from his bicycle. I think he's done with the cycling at the minute, isn't he? I mean, how else did he join us? Like, copper ages... Okay, having people stand around and watch copper age doesn't make any sense, but... I mean, you can interact with it by right-clicking on it to unwax it, or to change its state, right? So, like, this block can be... No, wait, how do you de-age copper again? Or, hang on, let's use a different type of axe. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, that's the way. Okay, so, fully aged copper, which, by the way, might not be the wax stuff. We might just start with this. In the form of a mini-game. Now, we can detect the state that it's in and it changing with an observer. Alright, so we can get redstone signals from a player doing this. You can also use lightning. I don't want to rely on lightning for a minigame. I want something very solid. Like, if this is our starting condition for a game, then the player can go up to it and interact with it. Now, I'm thinking initially PvP, but you have to right-click on some blocks. So, not terribly exciting, but there could potentially be like a combination lock. And you only have so many attempts because the copper will age, and then you have to wait for it to age to try again. That would be interesting. It could be something that we leave, and then you get the prize, and the prize could be a full shulker box, right? So that's a potential idea. Now, I don't know how to take pulses and combine them in a way that says you've clicked these in the right order. But the fact that they would need to be in a right order suggests us creating a sequence of events that would somehow, like, cancel itself out if done incorrectly, right? Really not quite sure what the starting blocks are here, but... And then you hit the last one, and then, you know, whatever was there is now here, and that's the winning condition. But then, if you hit something wrong, it's got to reset. Now, this, if we use pistons, we would have to obviously push a lot of pistons back and create a fancy bit of redstone to do that, so that might not be the best way to think about it. We can change the state of a redstone signal using comparators. We can move items between hoppers. These are all things that we can use. So that could be locked and then like unlocked. I'm not really sure I see that working well. I feel like the comparator could be a good one, but I'm not too great at working with this stuff. But you can maybe imagine that it starts off with no signal, and if the signal here is the correct strength when you send in a signal, it extends or resets if it's the wrong order. There's also the problem of using pistons make sounds so the player can learn, which you might actually want to leave in. Why not involve David on this? Several hermits place the copper and the first line that comes back wins. That would be like a great promotional thing, but it's also a bit dull. It's like you bring everyone over there, they all place it, and then, you know, later on you learn which one came back. It doesn't have quite enough animation or spectacle to it, I think. Let's say there was some new Minecraft mob that would, I don't know, go and mine blocks and come back, right? Then having a little event where you like get to watch them do that and cheer them on, that could be really fun. This one just lacks that, I think. Sir Jemin, thank you so much for 12 months of support. That is a whole year. Appreciate you. Comparator seems to be the way to go. I would agree. It's just comparator is not my strong strength. If any of our redstone wizards want to hop on, you're always welcome to butt in and show me how it's done. I do like to figure stuff out myself, I say that, but sometimes you're live, you're streaming, and it's a little hard to concentrate and figure it out because of that. What if you do have to watch the copper age? When it ages, a short time window opens to click a button, you get a free stack of aged copper. It's just like, you don't want to create a waiting game. It's just not exciting. You want to create something that's interesting for them to interact with. And from a viewer perspective, like a combination lock may not actually be that interesting. So don't forget, we can skip the whole combination lock idea if a better one comes along. The button 2.0. That's an interesting concept. We could make a machine that pays out copper, but the longer time has passed by... Ah! Oh look, there's a speech bubble above my head. I feel like it should say, Eureka! That's a great idea. So like it could multiply over time and you wait to get it. But then if someone presses it, it sort of reset. I like that a lot. And I actually built a redstone circuit for someone that was very similar to the button game. It's based off of the clock we probably built the last time we were doing redstone stuff here. Okay, so I was going to try and do a little bit of comparator adding subtracting. Let's forget that. That's probably not what we're doing here. What do we want? We want... If we let the player, like... Oh, actually... okay, so... If we let the player, let's say, look into a container, and it's slowly filling up with copper, then they can take that copper out. Right? They don't press a button, though. I feel like something about pressing the button is important. So, this stuff starts to fill up when we get a redstone signal. Now, when all of it's taken out, it will reset. I'm kind of counting on them taking out all of it. You could take out a partial amount. So it could be that it starts slow and it builds up. I feel like we're not quite touching how this works in an interesting way. Like, someone can obviously like guard it if they want to get more copper out of it, but then is it really worth that? Maybe every time it goes up it doubles the amount that's already in there. Do you want to make diamonds out of it? No, no diamonds. We're giving it away. Have a redstone lamp that shows the level of copper. That's a great idea. In fact, this was something I was rethinking the other day when I was just thinking about stuff for my future base. Is that I've always wanted to, like, I don't know if someone's ever figured this out. It's definitely possible if you go too wide, but I've always wanted to make a display where this goes up one by one based on signal strength, but one wide and tileable. I think that's basically impossible. But if you get, let's see what we can do. A little bit of signal strength here. I've tackled this problem like a bunch of times, and I never find the answer for it. Actually, what I'm building right now, if I did it with slabs, maybe that's what I'm looking for. Yes, I've remembered to use it, people. Look, it's beautiful. I need to keep... Oh my god, all the redstone. Let me just change... Yes, I love it. I made this thing for me and I keep forgetting it exists. What a wally. What an absolute wally. Is it me or have I just... Was this ever possible this way before? I think it's because of the target block that this has been made super easy. Anyway, if I want to have this not one wide, I think what we're looking at is it. And then, what's something? Is there something in this game you can? Yeah, it's the lectern, right? This should be in every redstoner's hotbar. You want a redstoner with like a book, a redstoner with a book. You want a lectern with a book and quill, even. That has 15 pages, right? Just put that there. Right. So now. Okay, maybe just the first one does it twice? Because I've done something wrong? Or maybe it already had a signal... It already had a signal strength of 1, basically. There you go. So, that is how you do that. I'm glad we did that. That was cool. Matsubu, thank you ever so much for 48 months in a row. Appreciate your support. Thank you ever so much. If you wanted to make a second one here, look at that. You got a problem. Is there a way? I don't think there is a way if you do it one wide. Maybe there's a way to have it like this, where you power that one differently. But I'm pretty sure that's probably the closest you can get. Unless, like, if you have a repeat... the problem, if you put a repeater there, then powers above and below. Anyway, redstone challenge for you. Have a look into it. I'm pretty sure that's the best you can do. Right, now, make a loot box site with random amount of copper aged in different stages. If they don't like it, throw the copper back into David. Don't think we're quite touching on it yet. A game of sense. If the hopper gets completely full, something negative happens. I don't know about that. We want something that's interesting every time you visit it. Like, the thing with the button was that it was just a bit more of a gag. Whereas what we want to create is something that's like has the utility of getting copper out of it. But why I don't know. What's the why of it? I think I read it out, but Matsubu, thank you ever so much for 48 months, and Luna Econite, thank you for 12, a whole year. It's still January, so Happy New Year. Thank you. I guess you can say that if it's January, apparently. Viscipher says, a game of timing. Hit the button at the right time to get more copper per click. Let's keep some of these ideas written down, because sometimes it's a combination of multiple that really, like, sticks out. So, a combination lock game... I don't think is it, because it's like you just grind that out until you fix it. Like you're just sort of grinding out the whole what order is it in, and you have to wait for it to age to try again. Not terribly appealing. Similar to the, let's call it the button season 7. That's a potential thing. Then we've got our like sort of parkour / right click mini game, as in you beat the parkour course, you get the copper. That could be really good, but I'm not just a big fan of parkour, so you know. HC trivia history game. Players accumulate more points for correct answers. The more points, the more copper. I'm gonna put it here, but I don't think that's the way to go with this. I don't know what I want, but if we just keep writing down ideas, something good may emerge. I was listening to a podcast about assembling ideas, and one of the things they sort of pointed out is that, like, when there is an idea, don't try and focus on the negatives, just get it in front of you. So we'll keep putting ideas in front of us. Stock market. Invest in copper? I mean, let's write it down. Like, you just keep putting these ideas out and then maybe something clicks. Like, how would that work? Like, we could create a copper dividend or something. Copper. I like the sound of that. Because I could, like, supply people with copper on a weekly basis or something. A bit of a strange one, but we'll leave it on there. Scavenger hunts with redstone elements. I'm not sure if that's what you're going for. That sounds like a bit more of a one-time thing. We were looking for something that, obviously this won't go on forever, but we want to create like an event that players gather around to get some copper and stuff for their needs. I mean, maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way, right? Like, it is technically a shop. You come there for resources. Make the diamond pillar crazy with copper instead. I don't think a building battle is my strength. Chorus fruit target shooting game. What we could do is we could say, like, we could like just make a PvP battle, and the winner gets a prize of value to them, right? So I think it's worth just making it like a one-off competition, is a way of looking at it. I will note that one down as a food for thought. How does this work again? I'm just trying to remember. Like, it pops off, right? Okay. That's a cool mechanic. I've had a hard time, like, assembling mechanics in my head lately. Like, when you design games and stuff, it's always about, like, finding various things to overlap, and I haven't landed on any good ones in a while, it feels like. What did we say? Like, just PvP, player versus player competition, basically. And the prize is copper. That could just a simple thing to do. False says, have you thought that the fact not everyone wants copper if it was a prize? Well, the idea is to make the amount of copper really big, like a full shulker box of it. And let's just kill these. Oh, pressing wrong buttons. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. Oh, then you got to do it again. And again. It's, yeah, like, not everyone wants copper, but there'll be enough people to make something happen out of this, right? Oh, Curls is collecting ideas. The Claw. Use allays and note blocks to try and guide them around to get your hopper, but as timed, so you got to work for it. Okay, I'm going to call that allay wrangling. Let's think. Like, I'm not sure that works because allays, they either go to note blocks or they go to the player holding the same item. I guess you can make a mini game of, like, the copper blocks. I don't know, they get sent up through water along a water stream. You're trying to move the allays around. It's not entirely clear yet which idea is the one to pursue. Carl says HG trivia game, more points, more copper. Ninja, please combine the clock and stock market from last season. Stock market was season 6. I don't know what the clock was. Xisuma says, a game of timing. Hit the button at the right time to get more copper per click. Randy Nicole says, what about a game of chance similar to Doc's slot machine you made? It could kind of work, but the point is I want to give something away, I think. Chorus fruit target shooting game. One-off competition like a PvP battle. Maybe the same concept as the head games in Season 7, that the way Hermits Oh! Like, we could literally just demand a player's, like a bounty. Ooh, that's very actionable. Yes, I like this, bounties. I could just ask for stuff in exchange, but the things that I ask for are what's interesting. Like, trick this person into doing that. Get their heads. Simple things. I like Force's idea of an arcade. Copper as tickets you can keep or exchange. Yeah, like the gaming area that we have. You know, I've been thinking a lot back to Season 5 and how we had a real kind of like cohesive gaming area there. And this is more like me thinking ahead for like a future season, but I think I'd like to do that again and be like a bit of a games master. And doing something like having a ticket system or like a set of prizes everyone can compete for. I don't know, it feels like it could be a really great thing to bring to the server. And I like the idea of tickets. There's not a lot of people playing minigames though, currently. And then giving the copper away as a prize to incentivize them to play that. It's good, but it's just, it doesn't quite align with the activity on the server, if that makes sense. Like, we're not actively playing our minigames like we had done at certain points in other seasons, like Decked Out. Like, if Tango went, can I have some copper as a prize for Decked Out? Great use for it. Like, that'd be cool. Ender Brown says, hey X, hope you had a better start to the year than I did. My mum had to go to the hospital. Sorry to hear that, my dude. I hope she's okay and she gets out of there soon. Life can be tough sometimes, right? Copper is the tickets or the prize. If they really need it, you can make a shulker wall full of prizes that are randomized. I could do, yeah. If I sound like really ummy-ary about everything we're doing here, I just have to create a really clear picture of how it works for me in my head. And stuff like this, I mean, Iskal did it, right? With the run game, I don't know. It's not a bad idea, I can't make it fit in my head. But it definitely goes down on this list, so like, arcade / prizes for a game. Definitely something I can think of. We didn't get through all of these though. A large field of copper at various heights. One team tries to oxidize it, and the other tries to shine it up. Okay, so using... Like, the problem with... The problem with that is that it can go one way but not the other. You can't speed it up. When you say shine it up, you can wax it, but that's kind of it. So it's like wax is like a one-time protection, whereas the right-click on this is 4 times in the other direction. If you could make it spin both ways, maybe there could be a mini game there. Fool says, I get you. I can picture how it works, so I just thought I'd share. Yeah, that's I totally get it. Like, for you, it might be an idea that is like very actionable and like can lead you somewhere. For me, it just doesn't. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. And when I do find something, it needs to be really clear. It needs to be like, I can see how players would play this. Speaking of which, my mini game that I made, the running one, was all really clear to me. It's like, there's a reason to play this. You can replay it to get a better time. And I was thinking about, like I was saying a second ago, about having ideas for a future season, creating a mini-games area. I was thinking about, how can you make like each game something to go back to? And I had this idea that there would be a token for like beating a time challenge on a game, or like you get a participation medal, then you get a best time, or did the trick in the game, right? You can give people rewards for variations, but then you would have a winner's medal, like the one thing that someone can hold, but other players can take it away from them if they beat their score. So what we could do is bring up the minigame idea that I had, the running one, make it a time trial event, and if you beat the time trial, you get a full box of copper. Does that sound good? Because that to me is quite an actionable path forward, and we've got all these other interesting ideas here as well. And this could be a way for me to test the waters with perhaps seeing how that incentivizes the other hermits to come and play, and then when season X or 10 rolls around, we could like perhaps lean into that whole idea of being a games master and bring back old games. There's so many that have been made. Like, I think Tango's chorus game was just absolutely amazing, but we only played it once, and I remember it being insanely fun. If we can incentivize the replaying of some of these games for prizes and stuff, you know, everyone could have like a trophy cabinet and fill it up with lots of little novelties. I like this idea. This is potentially the way forward. So, new... Should we what do I call it? Bone run? Like it's made out of bone blocks, right? New running game. New running game. I feel like there's a better word for that, but anyway. Beat the best time to get box of copper. Yeah, to get copper. There we go. Right, let's do a quick Twitter check. I feel like my brain is happy with that little brainstorming session, and we're good to kind of just leave it there for a second. The reason I want to check Twitter is, again, nothing from the devs. After this stream, I'm gonna go do a little bit of exercise, cook, eat, all that stuff, and then hopefully be ready for a snapshot this evening. If not, I might do a little bit, I don't know, I might start recording an episode. I'm very cautious about going back into that headspace. False says, beat the banker, you're the banker, and you set items, and you set times in the games, people win prize if they beat you. Is that like a concept name for what I'm talking about? I'm thinking more about, like, I'm running a theme park, right? And each game has a status of, like, if you beat it, you get this reward. If you beat it in this time, you get another one. And if you're the person who beat it the fastest, you get to hold the medal. Like, in my mind, what's cool about it is that, you know, someone will probably be the player who tries to get all the medals. And then other players can be like, well, I'm going to have a little bit of fun on stream. I'm going to go play some of these fun games. We've got so many in the history of Hermitcraft. We can pick the absolute best of them. And then we can have people, you know, like compete for the trophy to have in their in their display cabinet or whatever we're calling it, right? Yeah, where am I going? No, wait. I'm in the right spot. I just remembered what I came back here to do. How far along is the Elytra flying course? Could copper be the reward for the best time on that? That's a great idea, Curls. That's a great and I could do it like everyone goes there and does it once. That's a great... Hang on, that's a great idea. I'm going to consider that one. Basically, I put it in my mind that... I actually don't really want to grind out too much more of that. Like, there's definitely a little bit more that's going to be quite easy to attach on one end of it, but I didn't want to, I don't know, pursue that project too much further. Like, I'm not going to be around on Mondays even to, like, ask for help on Hermits Helping Hermits. So yeah, maybe that would be a great use of it. Right, just take that stretch and turn it into a game for the copper. Why is there no use of derp coin, says Jimmy? You can use derp coin for a face reveal if you want it. Right, now this has been here for a long time. I'm going to suspect... No, that one's just stubborn. I thought we might have had a glitched out error, but no, it's actually not all aged yet. Incredible. I do think it would be cool if there was just an option to call it back and be like, actually, I want some more. Oh, we're going to have to... You know what? I thought I'd get through this stream without repairing my pick, right? And I have to repair it because I'm mining copper. Literally. Literally because of that. Remember to put it in your offhand, otherwise it'll only repair your wings. Get to the copper, says A for Walk. Get to the copper. Love it. Did False just quit? I think False just might have saw this copper farm and left. Game over, False. I don't have the copper to replace it, but it's in the middle, right? So we'll just go grab that. For selling, can you do a collab with False? Maybe kinds of gambling machine where you get different levels of oxidized copper. If there's a reason to like hook up and record together, I'll absolutely be up for that. But I think I'm going to go in a different direction because it sounds like I might be stepping on False's toes with building a statue and stuff. But we'll see what happens. I like this idea of creating an event or a game. I'm just going to mull over the idea a fair bit more. It's so cheap to afford, isn't it, says Jimmy. What's cheap to afford? This copper? I've certainly got lots of it. I guess I can AFK here at the end of the stream and get more copper that way as well. I mean, I've literally built an AFK spot for it right here. Right, down we go. Peeps are saying Doc's messing with the server. Doc's always messing with Minecraft. It's what he does. Okay? Doc is one of the first channels I started watching. And we got to know each other because of animal breeding cells. A long time ago, okay, in Minecraft history, we didn't know that you could sort of shove animals in a hole and have an open fence gate below them and breed them and the babies pop out and all those tricks. Those things took time to develop, my friends. And when I got started on YouTube, I was developing some technology, as Doc was as well, related to how are we going to automate breeding these animals. This was when animal breeding was first introduced, right? You used to have the passive farms that took advantage of passive spawning. And then we wanted to... Okay, this one right here hasn't come back. Just making sure of that. And then we wanted to, like, you know, make some farms. And I started off with the animal breeding cell, and then it turned into the breeding machine. It went through a bunch of different iterations, compacting, getting faster, learning all sorts of tricks, adding them into the redstone contraption. At one point in time, I made a video, the history of animal breeding, and it was kind of like, I think it probably made it like 8 years ago by now or something. And it was like me looking back and thinking, this stuff's all sussed out now. Alright. You know, we know how to do the animal breeding thing. It's no longer like a little evolution that goes through iterations over time. The way Minecraft's played has changed. You know, peeps like Psycraft come out with the most efficient new farm moments after it's been revealed. So, like, things moved at a different pace. I feel like that might be a video sort of worth remaking, maybe, and telling it from a bit more of a story perspective. I really love watching these little explainer documentary type things on YouTube, and I've started doing a little bit of that myself, and it's something I want to pursue a bit more. And it's just kind of occurred to me that this is a topic that I could just potentially sort of revisit for the fun of it and tell it through a new lens. It really would actually be great to go back and sort of analyze how Redstone developed back then, because it's just so different to how it's done now. People used to make videos, there was a lot of back and forth, it would take like months before you ended up with like the most efficient design or whatever, but these days it's just always super quick and competitive. Okay, if there ain't a flying machine waiting, then it's already filled up. That one hasn't come back by the looks of it. Hello, how late am I, says Mazzy Twitch. You're right on time, Mazzy. You are absolutely right on time. Hey, look, a machine's coming back right now! Woo! Love it. I love that when I'm in here. That's the one thing about this machine. Actually, no, it's great. I've just decided it's great because it's really satisfying when it happens, but it doesn't happen very often because usually you're AFK, you come down here, all the machines are back. Over this end, they're not back because this part hasn't been as loaded. I've just been on the other side of my base, right? Whee! Peeps are saying in chat, I definitely haven't made that noise yet. Okay, you can't convince me I have. I did not make that noise today. I'm sure of it. Oh god, you're gonna have me checking my own sanity again. You did. Did I really? Oh my god, I must now just like do it without thinking about it because I. Oh, that one's done. I'm kind of like it's like a sound that I thought was a bit obnoxious, but it like slightly amuses me. And then steadily I'm like, oh yeah, chat's all right with this actually. Like, yeah, okay, well, whoo, every now and then. And now it seems that I do it. Like, there's less restraint on making the sound to the point where I don't even realise I've made it. Well, good for me, you know, good for me. It's not a bad noise, says Banyan. It's just like, it's an obnoxious sound. Like, that's part of why I do it. It just sounds funny. But when I first started making that sound, I didn't think chat would like it, I guess. It's a bit obnoxious, like I said. There you go, everything's stocked up. Terrific. Hey X, how often do you get the problem with the timer not registering a copper aging cycle? Kind of wanted to build a David for myself and wanted to know. Dude, just go build it. I've had it happen once. And that was when Pixel Riffs was here to explain it to me. And since then, I've just picked up extraordinary amounts of copper, as you can see. And it's really not been an issue. Hey, and now we're going to get extraordinary amounts of this, hopefully. Only if I'm standing on here, actually. That's how it gets harvested. So, peeps, I'm just going to, like, end the stream right here, I guess. I will fight you on this. That's a happy noise, and that's infectious in this glee, says Banyan. Well, I'll leave you with one more. Whee! There you go. You can have it. You can have that infection. Alright. Oh, it's spreading. Oh, God. What has he done? He's infected us. Peeps, hit the follow button if you enjoyed today's stream. If you're here on Twitch and don't realise that I do YouTube, then go check out linktree.xisuma.co. You will find links to my YouTube channels, all sorts of other stuff if you want more. This will be uploaded to my second channel. You can subscribe to that one if you want to catch it at another time or any of my other streams. And right now, we'll go do a riggedy raid. Let's go raid Joe Hills. As I learned the man... Well, I knew the man was getting married, but now I know he's getting married to Badger. He's getting married to a Badger? Oh, X, shut up. Right, sending you over to Joe. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. Thank you to the mods, the patrons, the peeps gifting the subs. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.